Okay. Hi guys, it's SV Avocet, and we wanted to do a quick video to answer some of the questions that you guys had from our Instagram. So I wrote down all of your questions and tossed them here in our Choi Lee hat, and we're just gonna go one by one and answer all of them. So,
how long did it take Cleo to adjust to boat life?
So you may or may not know, we do have a cat. Her name is Cleo, and she's about 4 years old. And she did live on land for 3 of those years.
In Reno, to be exact.
In Reno. So moving on to a boat was definitely different because she was a complete indoor cat. And as soon as we moved on to the boat, we experimented with letting her outside, and she doesn't run away. She likes to stay on the boat. She doesn't like sailing, however, so.
She's gotten better.
She has gotten better, so we're still working on it, but.
Our first time out, she definitely did a puke, and but now she just kind of gets quiet and just stays in the quarter boat.
So if anyone has any tips on seasick animals that they'd like to share, please comments below. So next question. What are your sailing plans?
So our plans for sailing in about 2 years, we're gonna do the Transpac from here obviously to Hawaii. And then we're gonna probably stay there for 6 months to a year, and then go up to Alaska, and then down the West Coast into Oregon, Washington, and back down into California.
And then we'll go from there.
And that's our plans as of right now. That's our goal.
Good question. All right.
How long have you been sailing? I'll let you answer your half.
Well, I started sailing when I met Chris, actually. He taught me how to sail on our Victory 21 when we were racing in regattas. So I learned on a very small boat, and I never was really experienced with big boats until we went to visit his mom's boat, which is in the bay. It's a Mason 43, and it's the family boat, and it's a lot different than our boat, but it was still kind of fun to learn how to really operate a bigger boat. Besides that, Chris has been sailing his whole life.
Yeah, I started sailing, lake sailing mostly, but also on the Mason ever since I was a kid. So really sailing ever since I was a wee little guy. So for a very long time, and then it just kind of became natural for us to buy this boat and start sailing it. So as you can see, it's pretty easy, just the two of us.
All right, next question. What do you guys do for work? So I actually get this question a lot because, believe it or not, people think that we are trust fund babies, and that is far from the truth. I actually am a social media manager. I have my own company that I just started working under the name of. It's Fairwinds Media, and we can put that down in the description down there. And Chris?
I've been a videographer for the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years now professionally. So usually that means advertisements and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get into more documentary style stuff. But right now, it's anything to pay the bills and anything to make us go sailing. So. This hatch is very squeaky. Why do you live on a boat?
Why do you live on land?
Oh, sassy.
Was sassy. Well, it's a good question. Why do we live on a boat? I have a hard time answering this one.
To go back about a couple years, we lived in Tahoe and we rented for a solid 2 years, and that was more or less like $1,000 a month just for rent. And I ended up at the end of the month asking myself why am I paying for something that I can't keep. And I've always had the dream of getting a boat and go sailing around the world and all that kind of nonsense. But truly, we didn't really believe in this kind of lifestyle until it just kind of happened overnight. I kind of asked her the question of, hey, do you want to move on a boat? And she's like, yeah, why not? And here we are today. So
we also had a long conversation about simplistic living and downsizing, because although we lived in a small apartment, we couldn't see ourselves being locked down to one place for that long. So with a boat, you're able to just kind of move around. If you don't like the place you're at, sail to the next marina.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So I think that's the best way. And plus, it keeps us a little bit more humble. We can't completely fill our boat with things we don't need. It's mostly the necessities with a few things that we deem as important, like our collections of stuff. And
your collections and just my very bare minimalistic things that I only get one locker out of the 4 on the boat.
I have a lot of shoes, I know. We're working on it. why did you choose your boat?
So we chose our boat because it sort of just came up out of the blue. We were looking at Catalinas and Cals for a very long time until this Choily just kind of surfaced one day, and we just said, what the hell, let's go look at it, you know, not thinking we could afford it.
We were actually looking at the Catalina that was across the way, and
we're looking at a 36.
I remember getting in the car after looking at this Catalina 36 and saying, I don't think we can live on that. It's a little bit too small. I don't really like living in a V-berth. There's not a lot of locker space, and so we were already kind of upset about that because we were so set on this Catalina 36. And then Chris's brother John actually said, well, there's a Choily that's for sale across the way. It's 41 feet, it's a little bit bigger, but let's just go check it out to figure out what you guys like. So we're like, okay, let's go. Being completely bummed out about the boat that we were set on not working out. So we drove across the way, and yeah, we stepped on Avocet.
First off, we stepped on Avocet, and Marissa hated it the second she got on the boat. She was like, this is a stupid galley. Until I pointed out the fact, like, this is a huge galley, and this is like the biggest refrigeration you're ever gonna get.
No, it wasn't the galley. What I didn't like were butterfly tables, because I've never been a fan of butterfly tables, except our butterfly tables are so far in the front that they don't bother me, because you're not having to constantly walk around them. So that's kind of cool.
Galley.
I mean, I guess I can make something out of this.
I guess so. All right, second. First thing you gotta get rid of is this horrible lamp.
Yeah.
All right, first impressions again.
And
our salon is more or less in the bow, so really the only time you need to get past them is when you go into the V-berth, which is only if you're gonna be sleeping up there. So
it's out of the way. But besides that, we chose our boat. I mean, it was a big conversation.
A lot of different reasons.
It was a really big conversation because we were so set on a smaller boat, because we were so dead set on not needing this much space and this much boat. But Shannon, Chris's sister-in-law, actually said something that was really meaningful to me. It was, do you want to buy a crash pad, or do you want to buy a home? And that's something that really stuck with me, and I'm like, well, that's a good point. I want to buy a home, because I see us living on this boat here for a long time.
Yeah, and it's just the age that these were built. You know, everything on the inside is teak, everything on the outside is teak, and yes, that's a lot of, you know, upkeep, but at the same time, it's a homey feeling as soon as you walk in the boat. So.
But our decks are not teak. The previous owner,
yeah, thank God,
redid the decks and also replaced the rig.
Yeah,
so
there was a few things that we had to have done if we were going to buy an older boat, which was more or less a new rig, no teak decks, because we've done that on the Mason 43, and I'm not doing that again. And the tankage too, which is a big deal on this boat. All our tanks are fiberglass, so we have no issues with like black iron or anything like that, which is really good for me. And it's in a Perkins 4108, which is, they're not, you know, the newest engines on the block, but they're definitely reliable, and they're easy to work on.
So after we really looked into Avocet and all of the details, we sat down and were like, all right, do we want to do this? And the more and more we thought about it, and the more we were sitting in our tiny apartment in Tahoe, we're like, why are we doing this? Let's go for it. Let's get the boat. So we got the boat.
Are you related to SV Prism?
Toss it overboard.
No, I'm not related to SV Prism. Yes, SV Prism, John, he's my brother. So obviously the sailing genes are strong in our family. My dad obviously was a sailor for as long as he, you know, was around, and then John and I kind of took over. And John obviously has gone, you know, I think around 10,000 nautical miles is what he's done. And yeah, we're just trying to catch up now and trying to get out there as soon as possible. So.
Yeah, maybe someday we'll be in the same spot and we can race.
I know, that'd be fun.
Okay, there's only 2 questions left. Future projects. Oh boy. Future projects. That's a big question. I'm hoping you mean
I kind of thought of a saying today that I kind of like. A boat, you're never going to finish your project list. You're just going to get it smaller, and then it's just going to get longer. So you're never actually going to finish a project list. But definitely, right now we're getting to a point on the boat where a lot of the projects are just going to be cosmetic. So I've kind of dialed in the engine pretty well. We need to do a haul out pretty soon, and we need to do a bottom job. And we're gonna do, you know, all the way to the fiberglass, and then barrier coat, and then some kind of a blade of paint. That's got to be done. And then our interior, all of the varnish on our teak has, it's seen better days.
It has.
So we got to take all of the varnish off, and I mean everything on our boat is teak, so all of the varnish off of our teak.
It's gonna be a really big project, but it needs to be done, and we're ready to do it. And once we do it, we're gonna be so happy it's done, because our boat's gonna be beautiful and all sealed up So we're excited for that. Another project we're gonna do, we're going to put a shower stall in our wet head.
We don't like wet heads. It's a lot of upkeep. Mold is always going everywhere. So I kind of mapped it out and I did a lot of measurements, and we do have enough room to put in a shower stall, more or less actually the same size as a Conservation 33, in like the bow end of our head. So we're gonna be doing, a whole head refit with a new shower stall and all that kind of stuff is gonna be happening soon.
Hopefully before winter hits, so we can shower inside and be toasty warm instead of having to walk up to the marina showers, which are still nice, but it's a walk. Another project we're doing is we're going to be raising our quarter berth. So right now our quarter berth has 2 bunks and they're offset like this, but we want to raise the lower ones so a couple can actually sleep there. When we had SV Prism aboard, they were both sleeping at different angles and it wasn't comfortable.
John was a nice guy and he gave Shannon the big bunk, so a 5.5 foot man was on the tiny little bunk, and definitely would have been nice to have that like at the same level. So that's gonna be something we're gonna do.
So it's a project we're gonna do, and luckily with that project we're also gonna be creating more storage underneath. So we'll have a whole
like
underneath.
Our V-berth. So,
yeah.
We raised our V-berth too to make it a bigger bunk, and now we have a lot of like long storage underneath our V-berth.
Which is awesome.
Same thing for our aft end. So.
Any other projects? Shower stall, quarter berth.
And I said the engine's dialed in, but definitely, I'm actually going to be putting on a new heat exchanger on the engine.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That'll be nice. What's the hardest part about living on a boat?
I get this question a lot. People seem completely baffled when I say I live on a sailboat. They don't understand it, and that's fine. I mean, I didn't really understand it at first either, so I don't know. There's not really anything hard about it. You just have to make little changes.
Understanding and acknowledging the fact that you're always going to have projects. And you can either get upset with that or you can just roll the punches.
Chris, I thought it's like 10:30 at night right now.
Yeah, we don't
Can we go to bed yet?
We don't sleep on this boat.
Besides, projects aside, clearly that's what's in Chris's head. For me, I think the hardest thing is just like, I don't know.
It's good that you don't know.
I don't know. I don't
that.
think it's very hard. I think it's actually really cool. I love the fact that we don't have a microwave or a TV. We have a projector screen, which is awesome because we're able to have this big projector and watch movies. And
it's very fun too, that the social aspect behind boating is that there's so many people that have the same love, that you all kind of come together, and it's really fun to have people on our boat, on other people's boat. That's something that I think that's my favorite part about owning a boat, is that you have your own little niche of people that you like hanging out with. I have no regrets, actually.
I think that's all of our questions, but if we get any more, I'll put them on our blog, and I do my best to answer all of your questions. We just decided to do this video so we can knock most of them out of the park. But we do love answering your guys' questions. Seriously, we love hearing from you, all of your feedback. I think it's awesome. Chris likes hearing it, especially when it comes to his projects. It makes him more motivated, so keep it coming.
Yeah, well, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to catch you again.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Nice hat. All right, we're done.